Okay, guys, one more business and life planning bonus video. The business plan's done. We know where all the money's going. And I just want to share with you a couple of hacks, a couple of tactics that are really going to work into implementing your conversations, meaning getting your conversations done when you say you're going to do them on your working days. Okay. We've got to block out prospecting time on our working days. We did the plan. We know how many working days we're going to have on the calendar. We've blocked out all our personal time, our vacation time, but on those days that we are actually working, we're putting in the work. These are going to be long days, right? We're going to have to find time to get to our 8 conversations like we did in the example, or our 10 conversations a day, or our 6 conversations a day, whatever your ambition was in your business plan, okay? And that's going to be called prospecting time. When are we actually going to be prospecting for the business? Now, this isn't generating leads. This isn't lead pillars. That's another section in this course. Go check that out, obviously, if you haven't already. But this is talking about how you're actually going to talk to people, have those conversations, okay? So the only way you can have conversations is obviously face-to-face. Face-to-face is great. Face-to-face works. That's your goal when you're having all of these conversations, is to get people face-to-face. But we know we're going to have to start texting people before we get face-to-face, DMing people, calling them, emailing, using the dialers, which I talk about in another section in this course, and even sending video, text message, or video email. Okay. So we've got to set aside time every single day where these things absolutely happen without any negotiation in our mind, right? We can't renegotiate the fact that we need to do these things. Oh, I'm really busy. I got an inspection. I've got a showing. I've got a this. I've got a that. I've got to reorganize my email. I've got to do a CMA. No, great, dandy, whatever. You've got to get these going every single day. You've got to get if it's 8 conversations a day, you've got to have those conversations. Okay. So when is ideally the best time to do these? I would argue that you want to eat the frog. You want to do this at the beginning of the day. This is money time, right? So it might be 8 o'clock. You're sending out some text messages, right? Might be 9 o'clock. You're doing a role play, and then maybe 10 to 11, you're making your calls. The phone is still the most valuable asset we have in this business. I'll tell you what, let me show you an example of a calendar that's workable. All of this stuff, you can't just write it down on a notepad and all that kind of stuff. That's great. Writing it down is great. But let me show you a living online calendar that you can use as your blueprint. Okay, so I just have Google Calendar up. You don't have to use Google, but this is just the example I'm going to use. And I have all these time blocks in here for the day. Okay, so Monday, here we go. We're starting off with a 5 to 7 morning routine. Maybe that means this person is getting up at 5 and you're doing your meditation, you're doing your gym, you're doing some type of healthy mindset routine. And then at 7 to 8, we've got get ready and family breakfast. Okay, maybe you want to do breakfast with the family. Then 8 o'clock, email prep. So prepping the day, cleaning up the email from the day before, sending off that CMA, doing those types of things that you promised you would do. Okay. And then 8:30, I've got text message follow-ups. Okay. So these are time blocks, like we just talked about, time blocks that don't move. I'm going to follow at 8:30. Okay. I'm moving on to email and I'm going into my text message follow-ups. If I've got a buyer looking at properties, I want to be the first one to say, hey, did you see this new listing? I don't want them sending it to me, the Zillow screenshot, like, hey, I want to see this. Like, hey, did you happen to see these new listings? I want to bring you the value, bring you the information. So these are text message follow-ups where I'm the first one to create that value for a buyer or a seller, right? Giving them the piece of information that because you're the expert in the market, you should be looking at your hot sheet, looking at your MLS hot sheet, and sending them that information. Okay, a live role play. Okay, so 9:30, maybe you're on a team or you have an accountability partner that's in real estate, that's trying to get better. Like, hey, let's practice our skills. Before we get on the phones here today, let's make sure we're dialed in. Let's make sure we're crisp. All the best athletes are practicing way more than they're playing in the game. Why aren't you practicing for a half hour a day? You absolutely should be. So a live role play, 9:30, 9:30 to 11:30. Calls. You notice here I wrote, do not disturb calls. Okay. So if somebody else is looking at your calendar, has access to your calendar, like this is my holy time here. You cannot disturb me during these 2 hours. This is the most important part of my business. I've got to get to my 8 conversations. Okay. If somebody texted me back, then boom, I could have a conversation with them. The text message is a conversation. A DM back and forth is a conversation. Somebody responds back to your email video and you start talking, that's a conversation. Doesn't matter which medium, but calls are essentially going to be the best place because you're in real time. You're able to go back and forth and you're more likely to be able to set an appointment, right? And an appointment is going to give you the opportunity to actually get a closing somehow, because you can start getting showings or listing appointments. So the calls is your most valuable time, okay? Whether you're using the dialer, whether you're calling up, expired listings, whatever you're doing during that call time, you can't move this. You've got to have a set amount of call time, calling your network, your database, seeing what's going on in their business so that you can have the conversation about real estate and get yourself a referral. So these calls cannot come off your calendar. Now, maybe something happens, you've got to do an inspection at that time. Fine. Well, you're just going to come in here that day. Maybe you got to do an inspection that time. Well, instead of doing showings and appointments at 1:00, you're just going to change this that day to 1:00. Super easy to do, right? I just come in here, I change it to 1:00, 1 to 3. I'm keeping my time, right? I'm going to adjust my schedule as needed, but I'm going to have a game plan for a perfect day. Okay. This is more in line with what I want to be doing every single day. This is my target. And so this is hopefully the target that I'm going to hit. Okay. I would even, what I do on my calendar, something really important, putting that in red. Okay. Like, don't disturb, don't mess with that time. It's, I got it, Google. This is my time. Do not mess with it. Okay. Red light. All right. 11:30. I just had all these conversations. I got to follow up. Maybe I promised somebody I was going to send them something. Hey, oh yeah, I know that property, 123 Main Street. I'll get you the information. I'll get you the tax report. Let me send that over to you. Okay. So these are quick follow-ups. Maybe you got an email message when you were doing your calls that you need to respond to. So here's a half hour to kind of clean up all that mess you just made. Okay. 12 to 1. If you're going to lunch, it should be with a client, should be with a database, should be with a network, somebody in your network, whatever. Okay. So if you're going out to lunch, it better be with a human. Don't go out to lunch with just yourself. That's really stupid. That's not smart in business. Go out with somebody, or just stay in the office and keep making calls. But I put client lunch on there. Okay, great. And you're in business, you're in sales. Don't be like taking, I need something for myself. I need to go take a lunch for myself. No. If you need something for yourself, go do something healthy. Go to the gym, go do meditation in the middle of the day to break up your day, that kind of thing. A lunch is not something for you. You should be doing that with other people. Have more conversations, right? Trying to get to your conversations. Okay, 1 to 6, we've got showings and listing appointments. You're going to have to go on appointments. You're going to have to go on a lot of appointments. Have a lot of time in your day for that, okay? Debrief appointments. Have a time where you're going to debrief these appointments. Okay, I've got to run a number. I didn't get the signature, so let me go ahead and do that, okay? And then we've got what? We've got 7 to 9, checking in with dinner, family, and the night routine, okay? So boom, that still gives you 7.5 hours of sleep. What's not on that calendar? What's not on that example? Netflix isn't on there, right? Wasting time and, checking out TikTok it's not on there. Going to the mall and shopping, not on there, right? Maybe you do that on a day off, right? Beautiful thing about a calendar is you can run any one of these, right? Because you're going to have to go on showings more than one day. You can run them into perpetuity. My calendar, and I'll show you guys my example of my calendar real quick if you want, but it just goes all year long, right? So you can repeat this every weekday, Monday through Friday, and you can do that for all your time blocks. And then every single week, those are going to be in there. Okay. Now I would advise taking one day off. Saturdays and Sundays are going to look different. You should have time blocks for open houses, and there should be a day off every single week where you're taking some time for you, where you're taking time off, you're investing in yourself. But that's just a quick example of how you can time block your day. You should have a plan that you're shooting for every single day. Now, those little boxes, they move, so you can make adjustments as needed, but have a plan each and every day, okay? Another easy way to make sure as you get more listings, I'm not going to go through this and kind of show you this in this course. You can look it up, and we're not affiliated or anything like that, but it's calendly.com, 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 calendly.com. You can go in there, you can learn about Calendly. They can kind of come into your Google Calendar, merge with your Google Calendar, and set a time block where appointments are going to show up in your calendar if you're sending that link out to people. So say you've got 10 sellers and you say, hey, you can reach me anytime. Here's my time blocks that I communicate with all my sellers. Boom, send them a link, and you can guarantee your communication. I would go on listing appointments and say, hey, I guarantee my communication to you, because the number one complaint of expired listing is that their agent never communicated with them. So I'd say, hey, I guarantee communication time with you. Here's the time blocks I have. Here's the link to schedule with me any single week. And any week I don't get on those calls that you schedule with me, you can fire me on the spot. You can get out of the contract. Okay. So it's called a guarantee of your communication. People really respect that. They want to be able to know when they can reach you and expect that they can reach you at that time. and be guaranteed that they're going to be able to have that conversation, not chasing you down, leaving you voicemails. Nothing more frustrating than that. You get that. So that's Calendly.com. There's probably other services that are similar to that. That's just the one that I've always used. So have your time blocks, have them set in place. Let me show you my calendar right now. Okay, so quickly, here's an example of my calendar. I think you guys get the point, and you've got to set up the time blocks that work for your life. But I have all these recurring. So different times, different days. Sunday's my day to sleep in. You see that? I have a very early morning routine. Great. Whoop-de-doo. And then here I've got recording time, meeting time in green, leadership meetings, and I have my home time. And I do have some white space on there, right? You got to have some white space on your calendar for that flexibility, for drive time, whatever it may be. But know the time of day every single day that you're shooting, most importantly, to make those calls, okay? To text, DM, call, email. You got to have time set aside for that, because if you don't, you're going to end up on the real estate roller coaster, okay? I'm doing a lot of deals. I'm servicing all those deals, and I'm not making my calls. And when those deals close, I'm going to be at the bottom of that roller coaster wondering, hey, where's all the business? Where's all the appointments? Well, you weren't making your calls when you were up here. So now when you're down here, you got to ramp up and make those calls. If you do it consistently every single day, stay committed to it. Stay committed to your conversations that we built in this business plan. You will have success in this business that is more steady, that is going up and up and up each year. So build out your online calendar, commit to it. You've got the plan that tells you what to do. Now put it in your calendar and follow the calendar. Hey guys, if you like these educational videos, make sure you hit subscribe below so you see more videos, and make sure you hit the link below. We have a waiting list for some exclusive content that goes deeper, where I actually show you exactly how to do everything I'm describing in these educational videos. So hit the link below and join the waiting list today.